Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Let's Create Africa, the webinar, where we talk about business innovation, governance, and the SDGs. Today, I have a very good guest and a longtime friend called Susan Njihia. She's the innovation and CX lead at Hello Tractor. Susan, thank you so much for joining us this day.
Thank you for having me, Wahiga.
Great. As you know, guys, kama kawaida, we are still joined by our sponsors and partners who are KYR Africa Civic and Citizen website and platform that you can actually go and check out your rights. Then there's also the Future of Work, where we explore opportunities for job creation. Then there's also Startinev, an ecosystem enabler in innovation, and we're happy to also have them on board. And last but not least, we have Susan Njihia and myself, Wahiga K. Muturi, your host for this evening. I say thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me this evening. And I'm looking forward for us to have a very interesting conversation on innovating around agriculture in Africa. So, Susan, tafadhali, please tell us about yourself and why in the world did you ever decide to go into such a field?
Sorry for that. Yeah, thank you for that lovely introduction, Wahiga. I'm very excited to be here. As you said, I lead innovation at Hello Tractor. So Hello Tractor is wait, before I even go to Hello Tractor, let me just talk about myself a little bit. So I am passionate about innovation, and I know innovation is wide, it can be easily generic, but I really do love to focus on developing new solutions, improving existing processes, products, and services. So it's more like incubating exciting ideas. Some are like really novel ideas, some are existing ideas, but trying to stretch them out, try to look at feasibility and the adoption of these ideas to the market, having a very double clicking on the go-to market strategy, but also looking at what value they have to customers, more like building painkillers and not vitamins. So that's pretty much why I love innovation. I do think that anything can be improved. And I think that with the development in not only technology, but also operational business models in Africa, I do think innovation is very key, and that's why I'm very excited about it.
That is brilliant, Susan. But you've even gone into the jargon of things. And I even wanted to know, first and foremost, because all our guests keep asking, this is a woman in this field, and she's actually in the innovation field, which is amazing. But who is Susan exactly? Who is Susan? Where did you come from? Where did you begin? How's your history? What led you to where you are right now?
Oh, yeah. So, um, yeah, and I know, I know. So how we're so used to, we're used to having responses that are streamlined to either place of work or what we're passionate about. So that's a really interesting question. So I am, first of all, I'm a Christian. I'm also a wife and a mother to one lovely daughter, and yeah, and I do love there's stuff I'm excited about, and maybe this is a fun fact about me to the audience. One of the things that really excite me that is like out of the ordinary is stuff to do with the. I know I might sound weird saying this, but stuff to do with the cosmos. I love anything that has to do with space, and it's not weird. Well, it's not even a surprise that I keep buying my daughter books that have to do with planets and stars and meteors and asteroids, black holes and wormholes. And I'm like, I think I am coercing her too much to this love. But that's like one fun fact about me. And I don't think I'm stopping to love. I mean, it's exciting. You guys should delve into it. You might be surprised what you get to learn.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, and now even as we go into your favorite love right now, which is Hello Tractor, it seems you might just be the one who takes agriculture into Mars. But tell us now officially about Hello Tractor.
So Hello Tractor is an agricultural technology that connects smallholder farmers across our emerging markets in Africa to tractor owners who have excess capacity for that. So we use technology to do that, and specifically IoT technology. So we came into the market because we realized that there was a gap in mechanization, and we were realizing that farmers were planting late, they were under-cultivating their land, and they were losing income. And therefore, we came into the market with a solution to try and lubricate the engines around the efficiencies of collaborative consumption of a tractor. Because you find that we do have lots of tractor owners, individual tractor owners, who have capacity with their tractors, but then they can only service the people they know in the community. So you find that that asset is very much underutilized. And then on the other hand, you have pent-up demand from farmers. I mean, and I would like to maybe put this into perspective, just to drive this point home, is that you realize that the global average of tractors is 200 tractors per 100 kilometers square. So that's a number that helps us to visualize the situation. But in Africa alone, you find that we only have 23 tractors per 100 kilometers square. So you can tell there's a big margin of tractors in the market. And why is that? So we do, of course, this problem is compounded by the fact that there's lack of finance in the African agricultural ecosystem. But you also find that the landowners in Africa are very individual, small, landowners who have very tiny pieces of land that cannot justify keeping a tractor busy within a year. So all these factors do contribute to like a dearth of tractors in the economy. So Hello Tractor comes in to make sure that the very few tractors that are available in the market are fully utilized and are accessible to farmers and are profitable. But we also come in to increase the number of assets in the market. So all this to say Uber for tractors, if that helps it. Right. Cool. Yeah.
Okay. And for those who are wondering how to join us this evening, please, for those who are watching, thank you for joining us from wherever you are. That's YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. I can see you guys, and I'm really thankful for that. And I also see a few people on Twitter, so thank you for that. Kimani, I see you. Oh, thank you, Kimani. I see you're still around with us as usual, always joining us, and I appreciate that. Susan, so tell us the connect between where you came from, and that's where you grew up from, and with the things that you love, this space and all that, and how you connected that to Hello Tractor. Did you just finish? My assumption would be, did you just finish school, then join Hello Tractor as one of the sharpest students in Kenya, or what happened?
Yeah, actually, I went to school in economics and statistics, which is a little bit, well, the economics part is a little connected to what I'm doing right now, but statistics is way off. So when I was younger, I was more excited about numbers and math and having to draw insights from, big data and drawing patterns and trends and stuff like that. Because I mean, data is the wealth, it's the currency of the future. I didn't know that then, but it was I grew up really loving that field. And I did practice it for a while at another agricultural technology company before joining Hello Tractor. But then I found that I had more desire for like immediate impact on the ground, and I started to love novelty. I just think I have loved novelty from pretty young age. Maybe that's how come I love space. I really love to know new things and how can we improve something. So I really slowly started to detour to technology and innovation. And at that point, I remember in my previous company, innovation was pretty new. But then I was the one shouting on the rooftops and saying, hey, I think we could have this as a department. I think we could have this as a field. I think we need to have a more concentrated, deeper lens look on how we are doing things, what our processes look like, how we can modify, restructure, improve our models and technology. So I got a bit of 6 years experience in innovation agricultural technology company. We were dealing with financial small farmers. I go to Tractor. So I joined Hello Tractor as a fellowship program. I was like, yeah, you guys are doing something cool, something fancy. I'd love to contribute to it in an innovation element, but then I wasn't so sure about it. But I immediately got smitten about it, and that's how 1 year, 8 months later, I'm still here talking about Hello Tractor.
Yeah, good, good. And before I forget, happy International Women's Month, as we have been reminded.
Thank you. You know how I
sorry.
really got excited about this year's theme because it was digital innovation and technology, and I'm like, yeah, that's like the start. We should have like 3 years with that theme.
Well, not necessarily that. Whichever support we can give, we'll give. Moving on swiftly, I would like to ask, you talk about innovation like it's your cup of tea, and you see that's interesting, but for the layman, what exactly is innovation? Because also there's a misconception between innovation and invention. So what can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, and sometimes also people place innovation like closely to technology, always like for some innovation, they're thinking like type innovation, learning, and invention of something new. You're thinking of Albert Einstein and how he invented the laws of relativity. But innovation is as simple as improving or developing something that exists or doesn't, and we are innovating in our daily lives. Sometimes maybe your cup breaks at home, and wrong example. I don't want to embarrass myself. But
it's okay, just tell us the truth. We enjoy the truth.
Yeah, I plead the fifth. But it's really as simple as modifying something and having a workaround around a problem that you face. It could be in anything. It could be in parenting, it could be in church, it could be in a playground. It's really just rewiring something to make it work in the conditions that you need it to. All right. So that's innovation, and it's happening every day. And there's a proverbial statement that says necessity is the mother of invention. So you need something and you innovate around it. So this is really just bringing that concept that, that's the whole reason, that's how we do life on a daily basis. But it's bringing that notion alive in the workplace. And it's very much needed because we are providing solutions. You survive in the market because you are providing value in a solution where it's needed. And there's a thing about retention. If you have to retain your customers and if you have to keep your business alive, then you are innovating around your business model. You're innovating around how you offer your business, how you offer your services. You're making it better on a daily basis. You are also innovating towards your own personal development. So innovation is everywhere. It shouldn't be seen as a big, daunting, overwhelming notion. It's pretty much the simplicity of improvement and making something better than it was.
Brilliant. You when you were explaining Hello Tractor, you talked about IoT and lubricating the gears. Very technical and mechanical language. First, let's start with break down for us what is IoT, especially for people who don't know what that is.
All right. So IoT means sorry. Give me a minute.
That's okay. No worries.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear. Oh, yeah, okay. Loud and clear.
Sorry, it's the rainy season here, so
I think just we understand. I think KPLC also needs an innovation.
Sorry.
No worries.
Just 2 minutes.
Okay, that's okay.
Right quick.
That's okay. As we give Susan her 2 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to lead you onto a conversation with Hello Tractor and the founder of Hello Tractor. Kindly watch this for just a minute. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Njihia Oliver. I'm the founder and CEO of Hello Tractor. Now, most people know Hello Tractor for technology to support tractor owners in managing their fleets and all aspects of their operation, including connecting them to our networks of farmers in need of tractor services. But most recently, we launched the brand new flagship pay-as-you-go tractor finance program, where anyone who books 500 farmers in the app will pre-qualify to own their own tractor. This is our way to bring more equipment into the hands of hard-working individuals working in agricultural communities, bringing mechanization to our growers. Join us by going to www.hellotractor.com to learn more.
Great. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. I see we have some people online. I see Collins Labat. Oh, I hope this is the Collins Labat I know. You're saying interesting innovation, talking as a farmer. And Collins and the rest. I see Masharia. I see Irene. I see Magdalene. Oh, thank you, guys. I really appreciate this. I see Naomi. Oh, brilliant. I see Christina. Thank you guys. I'll read through your comments even as we continue, but just as we are waiting for Susan, who's our guest for today, KPLC has done what it usually does. For those who know what that means, that's what happens when it actually rains. They unhunged electricity, to say the least. I please, engineers in the room, don't diss me after me. And I would like to hear from all of you. Is your questions, your comments, your critiques, and just let us hear from you, not only about in regard to Hello Tractor, but even just what exactly you believe in and you'd like to talk about with Susan. Thank you, Susan, for joining us and coming back. Can you hear us? Can you hear me? Okay. Can you hear me, Susan? Okay, as we still wait for her connection to be any better, kindly send in your queries, comments, and or critiques. We are open to all, and we would like to hear from you, especially in regard to Hello Tractor. For those who don't know Hello Tractor, you've just seen the conversation by the CEO.
Yeah, I can hear
great.
you. I'm sorry,
you can hear.
Sorry for that interruption, but I hope it will be more stable right now.
No harm done. No harm done. We know at least it's not your fault. So thank you for rejoining.
Hello.
And even I can hear you.
Hello.
Loud and clear. Hello, Susan. Hello, Susan. We can hear you. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, Tractor, I would like to actually send you the link so that you might talk a bit more with them. And please remember to send in your questions, comments, and our critiques. We are eager to hear from you. Susan, can you hear us?
Yes, I can now hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, loud and clear. We've been hearing you all along.
Oh, sorry. I was just crossing my fingers that this will ultimately work.
It's
There's
okay.
a lot of rain here, so a lot of disconnection, but yeah.
Yeah. For those who don't know, we're actually in Nairobi, Kenya. So today the city is really raining cats and dogs. No pun intended, but it is what it is, and we're thankful for the rain. It's been a long season of drought, actually 3 months of drought, which will come into Susan even as we talk about how we integrate technology into the weather pattern of the season. But you are explaining to us IoT. Do you mind just taking that from the top?
Sorry, would you please, do you mind please jogging my memory on the question that we were addressing?
Yes, please break down IoT for our audience.
Okay. All right, yeah, so IoT is short form of Internet of Things, and this means it has to do with the connectivity of devices and software and applications. That's pretty much it. All right. So it's in short, maybe you can remember DNA. DNA means devices, networks, and application. So if there is any connections of those things, then you have what we call Internet of Things. And Internet of Things is not, you might not know this, but you might be familiar with it. It's when you're driving and there's a sensor in your car when maybe it's about to hit something, or it's when maybe you get a notification from your car that you don't have much fuel usage. So it's all those, it has to do with sensors. And for some fancy people who love to dream about fancy houses, or you see this in movies, it's when you come into a house and the door automatically opens, So it's really just a connection of devices and networks and application. I hope that makes sense. So, and Wahika, please, could you confirm that I'm still audible and consistent? Hello? Okay. Hello, Wahika, could you please confirm that you can still hear me and it's consistent?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I was worried about that when I
No worries.
was silent. So I just explained IoT just broadly. So driving it home to Hello Tractor, we have our technology begins with a GPS tracking device that is installed on every tractor. All right. So this gives a tractor owner visibility on all the aspects of their fleet, from the location of the tractor to the work that has been performed by the tractor. They can see which operator is managing and maneuvering the tractor. They can get to see the fuel usage. And this is a big one for us because this is how we get to mitigate theft and fraud. But also maintenance request, so we're able to see what are the engine hours of a tractor and be able to offer that maintenance. So that's what IoT means in Hello Tractor, giving a tractor owner who is in Nairobi, because most tractor owners don't get to drive the tractors, they hire operators and they send the tractors to far off places. So we use IoT for the tractor owner to get to see visibility on these major data points. And this gives them the security, the freedom to send their tractors to far off places to service farmland communities.
Great. Somebody is asking, this is Kibet is asking, how much exactly does this cost to have myself be in Nairobi and hire a tractor from Hello Tractor?
Okay, so we have a subscription-based model, and there's a one-time cost when you buy the device, and that's like $100. And then we have an annual subscription of the device.
What would it be in Kenya shillings? For
sorry,
those who are in Kenya.
that's 10,000 Kenyan shillings.
Per?
That's 10,000 to 15,000 Kenyan shillings. That's a one-time cost of buying this device. But then we have a subscription model where you pay, that would be 20,000 Kenyan shillings every year you are using the telematics device. So in total, it's about, so in a year, in your first year of purchase, you may spend 30 to 35,000. But then in consecutive years, you spend 20,000. And that's a really small margin to a tractor owner who gains much more revenue than that.
Okay, and is this hiring the tractor itself or just having the device on a tractor that I own?
So this is, so we, as Hello Tractor, we don't own tractors yet, so we're not renting out any tractors. So we are working with existing tractor owners. So you have the tractor, or the tractor, so you own it already. And so we are just providing tracking for this category of tractors. You understand that bigger and more horsepower tractors already do have this tracking. But then the smaller sub horsepower, we work with around 75 HP horsepower. So they do not have this kind of tracking. And so you buy this software, it's more like software as a solution from Hello Tractor. So you buy this piece of technology, you install it on your platform, and that is one part of our solution. And maybe I have been delving so much into the technical bit. Yeah, so that's because we work in a double-sided market. So not only are we offering this software to the tractor owner, but we are also offering a marketplace to the tractor
Mhm.
owner. So we are able to connect this tractor owner to a ready and well-organized market of smallholder farmers. And
Mhm.
how do we do that? So we do that through young community-based booking agents. I mean, in Africa, and I think in any agricultural ecosystem, you realize that trust is a big thing. Trust goes a long way. And so our ability to tap into these trust networks is what gives us an edge and has high multiplier effect on us, because one booking agent can be connected to like 400 to 500 farmers, you know?
Wow.
So we are using this as social capital to make sure that our impact is multiplied. And these booking agents do a very critical job because they organize the market, they aggregate demand. And this organization is really key because the market is very fragmented. You find that farmers are everywhere, they're all over the place. So connecting them, organizing them, and aggregating them to what we call distribution clusters is very important, because then it helps us to have an efficiency in offering tractor services, and also other wraparound services. Because I mean, mechanization is not the only solution to agriculture. There's input, there's fertilizer, there's financial inclusion, there's market linkages. So if the market is well organized, then other players and other partners are even able to tap into it for capital, for wraparound services, because of the ability to organize the market. And the biggest beneficiary is actually the tractor owner and the farmer. So we lie in a very sweet intersection between farmer productivity and tractor owner profitability. So as a tractor owner is making money, the farmer is getting more yield. So that's really much what the impact we're driving.
Interesting. So we say it also, because you've just talked about how I can, if I am a tractor owner, I can actually use my tractor to make more money as a booking agent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can we also say that you're actually providing alternative sources of income?
We do, and maybe that brings
Income
me
and
to,
employment, actually.
exactly, and that brings me to one of our very important SDG, which is SDG number 8, economic empowerment and development. And so, yeah, and so that's really what we're doing with these young-based community agents, because this is a different source of income. This is providing employment, and that also is in line with SDG 1, which is on no poverty. So we're trying to build to empower members of the community and across the last mile economically.
Mhm. Wow, interesting. That's pretty rich. That's pretty rich. I know your organization also, Hello Tractor, that is, also has interesting model for pay as you go that was recently introduced, I think a few months ago. Do you mind telling us more about that?
I'm happy to. So yeah, so maybe one of the things I already mentioned was that one of the reasons why we came into the market is because okay, let me restructure this statement. One of the biggest challenges for Hello Tractor is pent up demand from farmers. Okay, so this means that we have very limited resources, limited assets already in the market. So even if every tractor in the market was fully utilized, it still wouldn't be enough to mechanize the entire demand. All right. So that is why we introduced the pay as you go tractor financing model as a way to increase the number of tractors in the market. So, and here we do capitalize on, yeah, on people who are unbanked. We're using unconventional underwriting methodologies, and we are codifying some impact elements that we want to see, like, are you a woman, are you young, are you into climate smart agriculture? You get to have a premium score, right? So this is an opportunity for Hello Tractor to increase the number of assets in the market, but also to make sure that we are driving the kind of impact we want to see. So we are placing capital behind these impact elements. And what we have observed over our time is that these young booking agents who book and organize demand do so much that they can own the tractors themselves, right? So we actually approach these young people with a smartphone. All they have is a smartphone and trust in their community. And we approach them and we say, hey, look, you know so much, so many farmers, you have so much booked work on your platform. You can actually own the tractor to service them. So we have, right now we have had a portfolio of 104 new tractor owners. We only began last year,
Wow.
running with like a portfolio of 5 million US dollars. So to finance these young people, and we are having like 120% repayment rate, right? Because we are using the data insights. I mean, it's pay as you go, right? So we are tracking the tractor as it works, and once it gets to service a farmland, then we are recouping a part of that payment. So as they are successfully providing tractor services, then they are repaying on time.
Interesting. Thank you so much for that. I'm curious. So for Hello Tractor, how exactly did you manage within the industry, considering that we've had a sort of 3-year drought within the country, and also what would be your opinion in regard to the importation of food products when we can actually handle that within the region and also Kenya by itself? What would you say about that?
Um, so I'm gonna begin by saying something crazy and something audacious. This is our big, hairy, audacious goal as a company.
Okay,
And
just a shout out to your boss. Please don't fire her. She's saying the right thing.
oh my gosh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad I wouldn't try it because I'm trying to take out his words actually.
Oh,
This is
good,
what
good,
he tells us. I mean, we're like,
good,
really? What, how do you think
good.
that's gonna happen? So
Hmm.
this is me regurgitating his words actually.
Oh,
So
brilliant.
so we are working as a small company. We have a dream, all right? We are working towards achieving Africa as the next global bread basket, right?
Hmm.
So we do
Hmm.
have like 5 bread baskets, I mean, in the world, right?
Yes.
So and as you know, there has been like geopolitical turmoil between Ukraine and Russia, and that threatens. Russia is one of the global breadbasket, and as you know, there's been abnormal heat temperatures in India, another second breadbasket. So they are underproducing some of the food
Hmm.
products, and so this
Because of climate change and the likes.
exactly. And
Yeah.
so this puts much pressure on Africa because the enigma of the situation is that Africa has like the biggest arable land, right? We have the majority of the population are smallholder farmers. We have the best climatic conditions, and yet we produce food only for ourselves, right?
Hmm.
So we are feeding our family, and that's the enigma. So people like us dare to dream that how can we start to build food resilience and not only make ourselves food sovereign just for Africa, but like a net exporter even to the globe,
Hmm.
right? And so
Hmm.
that comes to the question you asked on like how things like drought, you know, as some of the things that give us more tenacity and resilience, because we are able to see how can we start maximizing on wraparound services such as irrigation, and how can we have like novelty in planting, like things like hydroponics and stuff like that, because as I said, mechanization is not the only way. We want to partner with other actors in the value chain, people who are providing good fertilizer inputs, irrigation, market linkages, and all that. So I think how we have survived is to build very strong partnerships across the food system value chain,
Hmm.
so that when mechanization is running short because maybe there's no rain and therefore no land preparation, we are partnering with people who are coming up with solutions around drought, for example, or
Hmm.
flooding or any other issue. So this strategy of ours is, so in one statement we say we want to move from engaged to highly engaged acres. An engaged acre is maybe probably just getting mechanization. A highly engaged acre is getting quality input, quality seed, quality fertilizer, irrigation, and all other things. And you can imagine there will be a multiplied impact in food production. And if we can do that slowly by slowly, and it's a clarion call to all the other partners to join us in this narrative and in this crazy idea, because I mean, soon enough, we will be a breadbasket.
Ah, nice. Just I know you're not the boss, but just to throw a random one on you. When do you think your organization will be able to say we've actually made this region, not even Africa, this region, we've given it food security? A ballpark figure. How long do you think it might take you guys?
Yeah, I'm not a boss, neither am I a prophet.
Our country right now is operating with profit, so it would be nice to
Hey,
mention that.
maybe all I have is a little discernment and observation, but
Mhm.
I would say we have a really long way to go. That's the sad situation.
Mhm.
And what we have is goals, like a 5-year goal. And our 5-year goal, and I want to really structure this into smaller milestones, as it's more like I'm thinking out loud.
Yeah,
So,
that's
like,
okay.
our 5-year goal is to ensure that Kenya and Nigeria, I forgot to mention we're in 13 African countries, but majorly in Kenya, Nigeria, and Uganda.
Okay.
And we want to say, we want to ensure in 5 years we want to ensure that we have regenerative agriculture, and that means climate smart practices. So we want to make sure that there is more yield, and if so, that's like a short term. It's just in 5 years, making sure that we have a certain percentage of reapers within our platform as opposed to plows. And I really don't want to bore you with the details here, or certain practices that are very important to our farmers. And once we have regenerative agriculture, then in the next 10 years, we want to ensure that we have other partners across our value chain, people who are offering other services. So I would say maybe in the next 5 to 10 years, I would love y'all to be looking at this space for the change in at least Kenya and Nigeria.
Okay, good. We'll definitely, especially my audience, I'm sure, will definitely be looking up to touch base on that in 5 years, because they also want to be a part of this. And considering I have a young base of young farmers, young agriculturalists who are looking forward to see what Hello Tractor offers. I have somebody online, Angela Wangeshi, who's asking in one sentence, and maybe it's because she missed your intro. What would you describe Hello Tractor entails? I may have missed that.
Okay, so Angela, you won't forget this for sure, but Hello Tractor is Uber for tractors, pretty much. So we connect smallholder farmers with tractor owners in the market.
Okay, brilliant, Susan. And you mentioned, and just borrowing from what you talked when you were talking about challenges that we are facing, what are the challenges and opportunities for innovation in the African agricultural industry?
Do you mean in the okay? Yeah. So in the agriculture, the biggest challenge in agriculture is fragmentization, right? So it's a lack of order and structure. Right?
Is this between the value chain or between the countries or
I think
regions?
literally in everything.
Oh wow, we can't be doing that bad.
Okay, and I say this as a challenge that we have seen across platform, and this is why this is because many African farmers are small holder farmers, right? So this means that they own very small pieces of land. So you have someone who owns 1 acre, someone who owns only 2, 3, because 80% are smallholder farmers. You will find that in other countries that are actually very agriculturally intense, you will find that there's a lot of large scale farming happening, or you will find that people who are in farming are this is big farming happening, and they have heavy mechanization for that. But in Africa, because of the terrain, but also because of the the economy of the country, you find that people they're very small, and so they're very distant to each other, because we have lots of arable land. Most of it is bare, and some of it is cultivated. All right, so it's very dispersed, and that's why we said we have been trying to organize demand, and we didn't know how entrenched this problem was. So if you're trying to offer financial inclusion, you have to do it in a very organized way, and cooperatives come in the way for that, right? If you're trying to offer fertilizer, you have to have distribution channels. So how do you reach the farmers? Are they digitally literate? Most of them are not. Most of the farming is happening across the last mile. How do you reach them? How do you innovate towards communicating with a dumb phone or a feature phone, if you may? So this is why I'm saying it's very fragmented. That's like one of the biggest challenge. And the other challenge has to be lack of capital. It's a very there's not much capital in agriculture in Kenya, because they say, agriculture may not be as fancy as fintech or health tech or, other stuff that are happening in Silicon Valley and coming to be tested here. So agriculture can be seen as dull, and so you don't have many venture capitalists and investment partners in agriculture, because it's also risky, because it depends on rainfall. And most of the farmers are unbanked. So there's a capital constraint. There is fragmentization, and but then the biggest thing we have going is good land, good weather, and lots of, I would say, really the arable land. We have the resources in terms of land and fertility that we need. We just need to build efficiencies around productivity.
And maybe to add on to that, we also have a lot of labor within Kenya and Africa as a whole, especially the youth. And maybe to ask onto something that you've talked about, the challenges, and maybe you can borrow on it when we talk about the opportunities. How exactly is Hello Tractor leveraging on the African Continental Free Trade Agreement to help disrupt within the area of fragmentation? Because you've talked a lot about fragmentation.
So I think these are dialogues we're still having, and we are trying to. I think we're still in the dialogue stage. I would like to maybe not comment too much on that question. One, because these are still discussions we're having, and number two is we have realized that we do have, and I want to be careful saying this, is we do have large companies across our, in our partnerships. We are keen about partnerships, but sometimes you do realize that you have big companies that the government, and other larger companies. And what you come to notice over time is that while they may have the capital and they may have the policies and structures around that, they rely on people like Hello Tractor, because we have much more proximity to the farmers, right? So they still have to rely on smaller people who actually are doing the job, right? So until you can prove to them, and there's a lot of growth hacking happening, until you can prove to them that you have this number of farmers and customers in the platform, then sometimes the conversation becomes very young, or rather, I don't know what's the better word for that. So it's a very early stage conversation. And I think the wisdom here is to continue the dialogue, to try and get the numbers that will make them maybe care about a certain cause. But they do, and I love the focus they have on us, because they do come to us because of the proximity we have with the customers. But I think we're still at a very, very initial conversation around that.
Brilliant. So would it be best to say that Hello Tractor is not really much involved in the policy and policy aspect and governance aspect? Because what we can say is Hello Tractor mko kwa ground.
Tuko kwa ground mbaya.
Good one. Okay, so what what is the role, and maybe you might have alluded to this earlier, but what could you say is the role of technology in improving agriculture and farming practices in Africa?
Yeah, so you cannot like you cannot what is the word? I have to have a bit of amnesia here, maybe not too
It's okay.
selective, but you can't ignore the benefits of technology because, as I said earlier on, our biggest agenda is to create efficiencies around how things are moving. And so, how do you create efficiency through technology, right? So,
Mhm.
if a tractor is to be shared, then you need data, right? You need a tracking system, right? You need a digital training platform for booking agent. You need go-to-market strategies. And so technology in form of in whichever form it comes, could be IoT, it could be data, AI, it could be simple data analytics, or it could be mobile money, for example, like how are the transactions happening. So we do rely heavily on technology, but we are so keen on what technology is accepted and easy to use for our customers. And we are placing our hands at the pulse of our customers and being very sensitive to hear what works for them, what is easy to use for them, what is relevant for them. So we are not taking big, fancy technology across the last mile, but we are having a very detailed approach to technology and its offering to the last mile in a way that the product is accepted and easy to use and really just matches to the problem. It's a real value to the problem they're having.
Good. Thank you. As an organization that is qua ground, and this is a question from Francis. He is asking, as an organization that is on the ground, what is the importance of customer experience and user-centered design in building technology solutions for agriculture industry in Kenya and Africa?
That's a really good question. And you want to give your customers exactly what they need. So you do not want to, and some technology company error on that. You have people who have been very successful in other markets, especially in more developed markets, and they come to maybe like in an African context and drive the same technology, but you do realize that Africans maybe might need maybe a little different technology system, and we have had to learn from this actually. So when we came to the market, we had a totally different idea. So we were providing smart tractors, right? And so there had been a research done by some big institution. I think this is Yale University, and so they came up with this very validated from a data perspective about how these tractors could function in Kenya. So but then when we came, we spent the first 2 years really just driving this notion. But then it failed, and we had huge losses from that. And this is because we realized that this is not what the customers wanted. The customers kept saying, this solution that you're offering on the side, this software solution on the side, that's actually what we care about. We don't care about your smart tractors because they do not resonate, they do not work well with the terrain of our soil, right? The fuel consumption does not augur well with us. So it was not accepted. And we had to have our ear on the ground and to know what is the customer saying. And that is the human-centered design, a process that begins with the needs of the customers to making solutions that are customized to their needs. So it's us learning what do you need and what are you saying, and generating our products and our technology to be exactly that. All right. So that's how we use user design and customer experience. So I'm a customer experience lead, and I love to look at data. I love to look at what is our data saying, right? How many customers are using a certain functionality? How many times in a week? How are we retaining them? what is important for them, what screens do they like to look at, how long do they spend there. So if there is an agenda from the ICT team that says, hey, let's build this something fancy, and I'm like, but look at where the customer is spending time on. They love this screen, they love the booking flow. Sometimes they spend too much time because either it's difficult or it's easy. So you run very targeted surveys on that, and you get to really listen and learn from the customer with different iterations and doing usability tests before you launch. And the next big thing, you want to launch a minimum viable product. So test it out, be very, very, very concerned about what they say and the feedback that they give, whether verbally, anecdotally, or through data.
Nice. I think that's a good summary on, I think, the product roadmap and also the customer journey version. I like that. Thank you very much for that. And ladies and gentlemen, let us do just one small break, even as we look at what exactly the customer is saying about Hello Tractor, because it will be very important to also hear from them. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. I still ask you to please send in your messages. Let us hear from you, your questions, your comments, and or critiques. These guys are on the ground, so please ask the questions. It's a good time. Thank you.
Nilijua Hello Tractor through CGA, Cereal Growers Association. Mimi nilikuwa wa kwanza Busia County kuzawadiwa simu. Wakulima kwa region yangu ya Mkura Central ni more than 700. Kwa bank wanataka cash, ambapo mimi singeweza kufikia hiyo. Nashukuru sana Hello Tractor kwa maana wameniwezesha mimi kupata hiyo, alafu sasa nitakuwa nalipa kwa polepole. Na encourage wamama wenzangu wakuje. Hii ni shirika ambalo ni mzuri sana. Linaangalia mama hata ule wa hali ya chini.
Brilliant. And again, we wish all of you, the ladies that is, happy International Women's Month. And thank you for just being part of this. And that was one of your customers who are really enjoying the product, also as one of the main beneficiaries of the same. Thank you so much, Susan, for being able to answer our questions. I see another question from Martha. She's asking, how can innovation best transform the agricultural landscape in Africa, knowing that we still don't know much yet about innovation?
I think I think we do actually know. We know we are getting there. I'm not too worried about knowledge. I'm worried about partnerships and synergies and interoperability, because we can easily know things individually. And people, we are in the era of knowledge, and knowledge is easier to come by nowadays than initially. But then, how are we building synergies? How are we creating interoperability? How are we still able to work together? Are we united, right? So, because as Hello Tractor, you can only do so much. We are a startup, right? We may have dreams, but we do need help across other value chains. We need to collaborate, not even just agricultural partners, but we also fintech partners for our payment platform. We need training, ed tech, right? For education and how we can train our customers better. So I would say innovation around partnerships and how best to utilize the knowledge, the immense knowledge that we have, and also really just the audacity to do it, right? So it's to do the best you can, like even as a farmer, even as a person who is interested in agriculture, you can literally grow your own food. You may be living in an apartment, but you can buy a pot. You can grow dania, you can grow a little spinach. It starts from, how can I generate food myself? How can I feed myself today, right? How can I conserve the environment better? How can I support the farmers in my region? I might be more tech savvy than they are. How can I link them up with Hello Tractor? How do I know young people who can become booking agents? And not just for Hello Tractor, young people are needed everywhere as agronomists, as market links, as aggregators. They are needed everywhere, especially in agriculture. They shy away from agriculture a lot because they think it's for the old, boring people. But how can I motivate that? So it's everyone doing something towards the bigger good of agriculture in our economy, and that's
Good.
yeah.
Brilliant. You've actually taken a question from Kigo. And even as we are slowly wrapping up, we have a few minutes to wrap up. Kigo is asking, how can innovation, no, sorry, I picked the wrong question. How best can we design solutions that will help smallholder farmers thrive?
The best, that's a really good question. Thanks. Is it Kiko for asking?
Yes, Kigo,
I think the best way to do that is a willingness to develop proximity with farmers. So you're not sitting far away somewhere in Nairobi in an office or at home in the leafy suburbs and thinking about maybe your family, maybe you come from a family background of farmers. I really think it's the proximity with the farmers. It's going to the farm, it's calling them, it's getting to learn what they need, and they do speak. They do have numerous problems, more than we have been able to solve. So and Hello Tractor is really doing this through, we call it the power of proximity. This is opening up hubs. We call them mechanization agricultural hubs, where we have booming business like in Kisumu. And so we have a hub there, and we have some of the staff there whose work is to receive farmers to make sure that we have implements, tractors around, but we are also connecting them with markets, with fertilizer, with inputs. So I would say proximity is really key in agriculture at this point. It's really just caring enough to get out of your comfort zone.
Nice. We see a conversation from Charles Odok, engineer Charles Odok. He's saying, I want to partner with your organization. I'm looking forward to that. That's Beba Begi. That's what they are called. Susan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I mean, that's
good. So
that's music to our ears.
How can they how can they reach out to you?
Yeah, we love to hear that, the possibility of working together, and maybe what we can do is kind of take this conversation offline, get to know each other a little bit more, see how we could converge in our areas of interest and get talking.
Brilliant. Let me see. There's a last question. Actually, two last questions. What products, and this is from Marilyn, what product and or services can be designed to close on the missing gaps in AGRITECH, be it from Hello Tractor or otherwise?
I think one aspect would be data. I am passionate about data, and I said one of the biggest issues is organization, and I think just having a spatial and temporal coordination across agriculture is very important. So data, we have a huge gap in data. You find that it's very relevant to know who are the farmers in Africa, what are they growing, what is the size of the land, who do they sell to, what is the revenue, and just collecting this data can be difficult. So that's like one gap. And another gap is innovating around a very simple solution with things like feature phones, like how do we work with some solutions like USSD or SMS? How can you build a big solution out of the simplest resources that you have? Yeah. And then we also have literacy, financial literacy, agricultural literacy on best practices. How can we mitigate? How can we maintain training and information access to our farmers? Because we could be smart from here to Timbuktu, but if the people who are growing the food that we need to live long, If they don't have access to this knowledge, I mean, what are we doing? So channels and pathways of information is a huge gap as well.
Oh, brilliant. Charles Duke has come back and say, why I want to partner with you is because we offer convenient, safe, and secure short-term storage and parcel collection solutions.
Hello? I think we lost you, Wahiga.
Can you still hear me?
Now I can hear you. I thought we lost you. Maybe you lost. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually lost you. I was like, oh, what happened? But anyway, so that was from Charles, who really expressed wanting to work with you, and that's really great. Last but not least, even as you wrap up, and maybe hopefully even as you put in your last comment, what are the case studies of successful innovation? Well, apart from Hello Tractor, case studies of successful innovation and technology adoption in agriculture in Kenya and Africa. You can give one of each, maybe.
Yeah, and the good news is that there are is a plethora of innovations. People are innovating around agriculture. So, like you have different companies. People like who with greenhouse technology. You have people like Cinefa, formerly Illuminum greenhouses. In insurance, you have people like Pula who are giving farmers access to crop insurance. You have people like Sun Culture who are keen on irrigation. You have I can name so many companies, but I can also name people like I have most of my colleagues. I get very inspired by my colleagues who really care more beyond their work they're doing enough to like own a tractor. So they're owning tractors. They want to build efficiencies around fertilizer and inputs. So, and these are people I work with, and I'm like, people are actually innovating everywhere. You don't need to have like a big company that's registered. You can try and create an efficiency where you feel it's lacking, right? Because you might have resource, you might have the resource of your mind. You have an idea on how to build an efficiency, or you see farmers that are taking long to build a greenhouse, or and you can connect them with good resources. Yeah, so it's if you Google agricultural technology companies in Kenya, you get to see so many, and you can help to create these linkages.
Thank you so much. And should I assume Kenya is still leading on that innovation?
Kenya is doing very well in terms of innovation. To be honest, Nigeria as well. In fact, yeah, Nigerians are quite enthusiasts. But yeah, we're good. We're good, and we are really excelling in financial maturity, especially mobile money. So if you're running any innovation here, I mean, M-Pesa has done way too much. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Kenya is. I love to be here now.
Great. And we can do more, definitely. Thank you so much for that, Susan. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of our conversation today with Susan Njihia, or in my language, we say Njihia, who is the Innovation and CX lead at Hello Tractor. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. This is Let's Create Africa, the webinar, where we talk about business, innovation, governance, and the SDGs. And thank you for mentioning that, Susan, and making sure that majority of the people understood. I would like to still give thanks to some of our partners, Startinef, an innovation ecosystem enabler. I would also mention KYR Africa Civic and Civic and Citizen Participation Platform, just to know your rights. It's called KYR Africa. The Future of Work, who are also seeking to get more job opportunities for people and people who you can engage with. And last but not least, I would like to mention, good, I've mentioned Startinef. I would also like to say thank you to Hello Tractor for lending us Susan, who was able to join us today and has done an amazing job. My name is Wahiga K. Muturi, and this brings us to the end of our topic this week, innovating around agriculture in Africa. My name is Wahiga K. Muturi, and thank you so much. God bless you. Have a great evening, and Ramadan Kareem. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.